All right, guys, welcome to our team call recording. And so I was just saying, we have 3 team cups within our team, which is just awesome. It's so exciting to see that. And if you guys don't know what team cup is, some of you, I signed up, Rachel, I just signed up without talking to you about it because I knew you'd be on board. But basically it is just a way to work together, as we talked about last week, as a team in groups of 5 to earn prizes, more so than we earn by just helping people in our income and all that. So I'm super excited for that. And let's see, this is the last week. There are a couple days left in January. I know some of you are still pushing for Success Club and are really close. And it's a big month for those of you that are pushing for Success Club for double dollars for the cruise next year. I just found out I'm actually on the short list for the cruise, which is pretty cool. And Sam's already booked hers, which is crazy. She's going with her whole family, which is a fun thing. I guess we talked about that stuff last week. So I just wanted to dive right into the call, but while I'm on, Rachel and I just had our getting started right call, and she was asking how to, and Brooke and Sam might know the answer to this, how to sign someone up for a Beachbody account with you without them making a purchase. I couldn't find it in the Simple Coach links or in the share cart. Is that a thing anymore?
Let me pull it up if you just,
Yeah, you can just post it in the team page if you think about it and tag Rachel in it. I just wanted to say that before I forgot I was going to post in Level Up. Okay, so let's get started. All right, you guys have had a couple weeks in. You're probably overwhelmed, which we're not allowed to say in the Level Up group. She doesn't like that word. Well, overwhelmed, because as I was just saying, what new thing do you start where you're not overwhelmed? I mean, just think of this as your little baby, like Rachel as a 3-month-old. Like when you were a new mom, if you were a mom, that's the most overwhelming time ever. Any new job you're taking is overwhelming. If you have a new puppy, it's overwhelming. You're like, does he need to eat, or why is he crying? And do I put him in his cage? Is this allowed? When you're buying a new house, it's overwhelming. There's so much. You want to do everything, and you want to do it perfectly, and you want to do it fast, and you want to make money fast, and all these things, but that's okay to take a step down, slow down, breathe, and take things one step at a time. Frankly, I mean, I love runners. If you're ready to just go, then nobody's stopping you. The more overwhelmed you feel, the more you're doing. But don't get yourself to a place where overwhelm means come to a dead stop and not do anything, because that is not helping anybody. So what I sent to you guys in the GSR chats that I have was your first assignment. And actually, Stephanie was the first one to complete it today, which was awesome. I have not gotten a chance to read them. I just saw them pop up on my phone as everyone was sending them in. I'm so impressed with you guys. But I did want to share my story a little bit. I'm going to read you mine, which I can't read. Okay. Which I'm going to read mine to you guys, my little story, because some of you haven't heard it before. And I want you to know where I'm coming from and also how I kind of talk about it. So I have it written down. Let me pull it up. Sorry. And some of you, if you've heard my story before 1,000 times, I'm sorry. Okay. So when I did the exercise that I sent you guys tonight, and I know, Rachel, I have not sent yours. I just figured out how to use this fun new tool on Google called Snippets. So I am going to send that to you after this call. But I'm going to read you my story. Basically, it is where I came from, where I'm going, and how Beachbody's helped me get there. Okay, I'm not going to be able to see your faces or the chat while I'm reading this. It's not long. Okay, my story. I was broke. I'm not talking about ooh, I can't buy a Starbucks latte today. I'm talking about being negative broke. I had student loans, credit card debt, hospital bills from when my daughter was born. I owed money to the oil company, the plow guy, the lawyer, and my family. I had debt collectors calling me and harassing me to pay my bills. I had someone threaten to take me to court if I couldn't pay him. I had guilt every day and couldn't sleep thinking about how I was going to pay my mortgage and heat my house during the cold New England during the cold New England winters. I was jealous. I was jealous of people whose parents helped them out financially. I was jealous of married people with 2 incomes, and I couldn't understand how they had all the money in the world and no problems. Wink face. I was scared, ashamed because I felt like I was drowning. As a failing single mother, I thought that for sure I was destined to wind up just like my parents, living paycheck to paycheck, waiting for the water to be shut off, sharing a can of grape soda 4 ways as a treat. I felt hopeless that I would let my daughter down. And I couldn't see a glimmer of hope. I was already working 2 jobs and I couldn't make ends meet. I didn't want to take on a third job that would take me away from my baby girl more than I already was. To me, the number one duty of a parent was to provide shelter and food for their kids, and I couldn't even do that. I was failing at the bare minimum. I couldn't think about I couldn't think about the future, her college, vacations, my dream home, because I was stuck in the day-to-day grind. Now I am in control. I am debt free with enough money in the bank to cover any emergencies, paying into my retirement, paying cash for family vacations, not stressing about when the car needs to be fixed, planning for the future, funding Poppy's college fund, living on a budget that doesn't confine me but sets me free, and knowing that the money I earn is abundant and flows freely. I have broken the mold of how my family will deal with money in future generations. My net worth is nearly $250,000, and I should have my house paid off 20 years ahead of schedule. Without without Beachbody, these things would not have been possible. I chose to coach for the money and wouldn't take it back if anything depended on it. Okay, so obviously my story, I've been spent the last 3.5 years crafting, and it still brings a tear to my eyes. Like, I remember each of those moments of things, and I was really in depth about them. I was helping Samantha rewrite her story a few days ago, and I was like, go into a little bit more detail here, really explain that moment of what happened, that like kind of turning point. Now you may think like, I don't have a story, or I'm not debt free, or I haven't gone from, island A to island B. I'm not there yet. Like, and I don't want you to look at me like I've have all the world's problems solved, because I definitely don't. Excuse me. But I know I have something I can share with people. So we always say to talk about your story and yourself in 3 types of categories. The first one is your physical transformation. So whether it's sharing a before and after picture, for me, I talk a lot about my thyroid disease. I have Graves' disease, and I talk about that because a lot of people with thyroid diseases have a hard time losing weight. So whatever your weight loss journey is, Samantha, my sister, is kind of the opposite of me with her weight loss story. She used to have eating disorders, and she's gotten to the point after quite a few years of coaching and lots of personal development, which she can share that with people. So don't think it has to be like this epic moment of like sharing everything. It could be like, I didn't eat the donuts that were sitting in the cafeteria this morning. It doesn't have to be. That's a huge, in my mind, I actually probably still can't do that to this day. I ate a quarter of a donut. It was sitting there today. So it doesn't have to be like this huge thing. But hey, if you've lost 5 pounds, you have something to share. You have a way to help people. And that's what this is about. Like, sharing your story is because other people can relate to you. Maybe you can't relate to my story specifically. Maybe you're not a single mom. Or maybe you're not a mom. Maybe you're not in debt nor have money issues. But there's some part of my story, I'm sure, that each one of you either thought, hey, I've had that moment. I've had that thought before. I felt like a failure as a parent, or I've been in times where I couldn't pay my bills, or I have had so much debt, or whatever the situation is. There's some part of my story that you can relate to. And that's what we want to know, because I want people to hear my story, feel what I'm feeling, what I felt, and know that I can help get them out of that. Okay. So the first one is your physical transformation. The second one is more of an emotional transformation. So, if for that one you want to talk about, Sam talks, sorry, she's my sister, I pick on her. Sam talks a lot about, postpartum. So does my coach, Nikki. That's a huge emotional struggle that so many women have. And is not talked about. And like, you may think to yourself, like, I'm the only person with an alcoholic ex. Poppy's dad was an alcoholic. Like, sometimes I'm like, am I alone there? And then I talk to my friends about it, or I post something about it on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, no. So many people can relate to being with someone or having a family member, something that was an alcoholic. So think of something that you can share with people that you can help them. So ways that ties into Beachbody for me is the personal development part of it. You know, I know that this is, you know, a healthy lifestyle and is getting me in the mindset to get over things from my past. And then the last one is the financial transformation, which for me is easy to share because I've made such strides in it. Honestly, I've made more strides in my financial transition than I have in my physical transition. Frankly, it's easier for me. I could make $100 today versus losing 2 pounds by tomorrow. For some reason, that's easier for me. So it's not for everyone, and I know we're not all the same, which is what makes us awesome. So, and you know, Samantha's honestly probably the opposite of that. So, though she's doing a great job with her finances, you know, so, you know, did you make, you know, Brooke does an awesome job at sharing if she's made $100 today, you know, whatever on payday Thursday, she always does a post of what, you know, if she made a couple $100, what did she use that for? She has 3 kids within 35 months of each other. Did she pay for karate? Did she pay for the groceries? Was she able to buy organic foods? You know, I'm just trying to think of examples that I've seen in her posts, but it doesn't have to be I paid off my house or I paid off my student loans, which I've been able to pay off my student loans and all my debt. But it started with you know, an $86 paycheck. It doesn't have to be grandiose. It can be something, because what I always think to myself is like, if I didn't have Beachbody, I mean, even with Beachbody, honestly, every dollar matters to me. I have a place for every single penny I make with Beachbody to go. I would do this if I was making $50 a week. No question about it. I need that money to survive. So you know, if you think to yourself, oh, I just made $50 this week, like I can't help anyone. Like I see these other coaches and I feel like they're making so much money. Doesn't matter. Guarantee you someone on your friend's Facebook page or one of your friends in your life or your family could use an extra 100 or $200 a month. That could literally change their life. I will say that, you know, the first probably $300 that I made, once I consistently got to that, changed my life. I was finally like, felt like I was above water again. My coach, Nikki, didn't know that. But she shared her story of her struggles that she'd gone through financially. And so I was able to relate to her. And then, you know, eventually I shared with her what was going on and, you know, how she's changed my life. But I like to say, like, if you don't share these things with people, you're keeping their future locked inside your mouth. Like, if Nikki had never asked me to coach, where would I be? Where would we all be? You know, the 100 of us or whatever, 75 of us left on this team, like, and down. And I just think that for me personally, like, how could I not ask people? Because where would I be if she had never asked me? I have no idea, honestly. I'd probably have to move back in with my parents or get a third job. And I couldn't do that anymore. So, you know, you may not, especially if you're new, and this may be a little overwhelming, as you may think you don't have anything to share, but I promise you, you do. Um, so with today's exercise, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but like, it was like, what did you struggle with growing up? As I mentioned in my little post, like, my parents have no money. They've been terrible with money their whole life. Literally, we used to go to BJ's and like share the snacks, you know, the free ones, the samples, and like split a can of Diet Coke between the 4 of us. That's how poor we were. Water got shut off all the time. Electricity got shut off all the time. Which obviously I don't say that to hurt my parents, because I would never want to do that. But it's a reality. I mean, they don't get the water shut off anymore. Actually, I don't know about that. But you know, um, but I want better. And I think that's what every parent wants, their kid to be better than they were. At least that's what I want for my daughter even. So, you know, we're not trying to out anybody. And of course, I'm sure we all have, you know, demons that go way back and maybe we're not ready to share that. That's okay. Start small. Start small. I guarantee you can help someone with that. If you're struggling with your story, and people all the time to say to me, I don't have, nothing's happened to me. I have no story. I'm like, I doubt that. So let's talk. Does anyone on this call feel, you can comment or raise your hand, feel like they don't have a story or anything that, you know, to share that they could help someone with? Yeah. Okay, well, that's good. Wait, is D typing? If you do feel like that you don't have a story to share, I can get a story out of you. But if you were, actually, I think I saw your comment come through. I just haven't read it yet. But so if you have a story to share, that's how you talk about things on your Facebook page. Okay. We want people to be coming to us, asking us questions about what we do and how we can help them, but they need to hear from us. So share little parts of it. Share your wins of the day. Share something that you're proud of, something that you've overcome. Samantha didn't share about her eating disorder for a long time, and that's okay. She hinted at it, and said she struggled with her eating, but she never said like all the detail. I'm not going to share it on the call or anything, but like she never shared all the dirty details of everything she's gone through. And I saw the whole thing, like, but she shared enough that people could understand where she was coming with. We have another coach on who's not on the call tonight, Maggie, who's going through a divorce, and now it's been a year and a half or so. So now she's finally talking about it. But in the beginning, she didn't just say, "Oh, I'm going through divorce. My life's falling apart. My husband's blah, blah, blah." She didn't do any of that. That's not what it is. I actually have never talked about my ex on Facebook, Poppy's dad. And that's a huge part of my story, but I'm not here to bash anybody. I don't bash him anyways, but like, he's not involved. That's not part of my story. I choose to leave out the things that I want to leave out. It's Facebook. I'm not lying to anyone. Everyone knows I'm a single mom. They just don't know the situation, and that's okay. You can share what you want and keep to yourself what you want. Like, I'm trying to think of something money wise that I don't share, but I guess that I'm more comfortable with. But there are plenty of parts of your story that you don't have to share, or that you'll get more comfortable with sharing on the long run. So when you do a Facebook post, it's easy to just post a workout picture and be like, "I did my workout today, yay, day 1 of 80 or day 11 of 80, whatever it's on." But go dig a little deeper than that. I want your post to have some like soul to them. What's a great accomplishment about that? Were you sitting at your desk deciding whether to walk to the candy jar or walk to the gym? Because that's my decision every day. And or if whatever it is, just start to talk about it out loud to get more comfortable with it. Pick one thing. If it's your thyroid disease, if it's the fact that you've lost 10 pounds, how you got there. Did you give up coffee, cream and sugar in your coffee like I did? Did you give up soda? One thing, that's it. And start talking about it every day, just a little bit. I guarantee you, if you gave up soda, there's someone out there that would love to learn how to give up soda. Replace it with Shakeology. I stopped drinking cream and sugar when I was in the Shift Shop test group in my coffee. And I love to tell people how to do that, So it was hard. It was not easy. And every day I cry a little bit drinking my coffee, but it's been almost a year. So there's something, as long as you believe deep down that you have something to offer people, you do. Okay. So I just want you to think about that when you're talking about your story. I'm going to be giving those little, snippets every day this week. And it's just a way to learn how to help people and how to share your stories so that they can relate to you. Think of some of the people we watch on TV or even other coaches that you follow. Or I'm not really into celebrities, so I don't know a ton of them, but like Oprah's one of the, she's awesome. Like she shares her story, you know her background, where she's come from. And I don't know many other people, but a lot of people that we follow in social media get their following because they share where they've come from. And they share who they are. It's not just like, "Oh, I'm selling this." That's not what it's about. Anybody can buy. They even sell those containers now, the 21 Day Fix containers, like a fake knockoff brand at Walmart. Anybody could have done that. That's not what this is about. We offer so much more than that. It's the support we get. Talk about that, the accountability, the support. The more you talk about the things that we have to offer and that you believe in, it won't feel like selling, and you won't feel sleazy talking to people about this, because deep down that you have something to offer them because of how it's changed your life. So even if it's just changed from you going to the drive-thru every day and for breakfast and getting an egg sandwichy thing to drinking your shake in the morning. I'm not gonna lie, this morning I left my house without drinking my shake. I was going to go to the coffee shop and get a bagel and a coffee because I was feeling like a lazy fat ass. And then I was like, oh, damn, can't do that. I dropped Poppy off, drove home, made my shake, and went to work. Like, we're not cured. It's not like, oh, I'm a Beachbody coach. Everything comes easy and naturally to me. Talk about the struggles too. People want to hear that. Like, not every day is perfect. I definitely don't try to be perfect. So, it doesn't come naturally or easy to share personal things, but, definitely talk surface things for right now. Like, are you just psyched to have a group of women that you can connect with? I mean, I sit at home every single night by myself because I'm a single mom and I can't leave, so this is like the best time of my week. I love talking to you guys. It's a community thing. And like that, like piece that was missing when I became a mom, to like have other humans to talk to that didn't yell at me, frankly. Is that piece exciting to you? A lot of people on a team, that's like a huge part of it. The connection with other women, like-minded women who are on the same journey. And that's, I think, a big reason why people connect with us. So the more we get talking about our story, I want to see, I think I'm friends with all you guys on Facebook now, but I want to see you sharing your story and, weird. And talking about it and stuff. And then, get more comfortable sharing with other people. I kind of had a crazy goal so there's this guy, Eric Worre. He is a big motivational speaker for network marketers. He talks about signing 20 people in 30 days. Now, you've probably heard me talk before and are like, sign 2 people, when we talk about setting goals. Sign 2 people this week. But I think for February, I think we should all make the goal to sign 20 people. It's totally doable. We'll talk about how. I know it sounds crazy. Believe me, it sounds crazy to me. I've never done it. But we're going to talk about how, and we're going to do step-by-step things. That's why I wanted to get started this week in like the story part of things. And then we'll talk about the how-tos actually and how conversations go. And I just got off as I said, the GSR with Rachel, and I lost my train of thought. It was just basically coming down to a belief. Like, I don't know for any of you guys, I obviously didn't sign all of you on the call, and other people did, but like, did you ever feel like when I was talking to you and signing you, or whoever signed you, that we were like pressuring you? Was I ever like, if you don't buy, I'm not going to be a friend anymore? Or like, I'm going to like be mad if you don't buy from me? Or did any of us who signed you ever, did we make you feel pressure and like a salesy pitch coming to you? Or did you feel that we had something that could help you in your life, and that's why you joined us? If we did feel salesy, I always want to know, because I mean, if you did feel pressured into it, we'd always want to know so we can change our wording. But I feel like most of the people on this team didn't feel that way, because most people that feel pressured and salesy into buying things don't buy. So think about that when you're talking to people. Like, okay, Katie or whoever signed me, Brooke and Sam, I never felt pressure to buy. They just, showed me a path to help me reach my goals. And that's what we want other people to feel. So, I know some of you made the list. I did not get lists from everyone last week of the 20 people. If you didn't do that list, work on that one. And exactly, who dis? But if you did, it's fine. Think about it. You may think to yourself, no one wants to join me, but I promise you that's not the case. I've never had talked to Rachel before she messaged me about joining my team. I'd never talked to her. She just seen my post on Facebook and done some research and wanted to join Beachbody. And I'd say she made a good choice. But like, go through your friends in your head. And, I think your family is the hardest. Don't start there. They take a while to come around sometimes. They're skeptics. They want the best for you. And sometimes, they don't want to think you're like, joining like some like cult or something. That's actually what Samantha's husband said to me, or to her, one of us, when we signed up, that, oh, you're joining that cult. Now he's fully on board, drinks Shakeology every day, does the performance line, and obviously supportive of Samantha. It took a while. He had to see some big paychecks come through to have that happen. So don't worry if your family's not supportive at first, honestly. it takes time, and sometimes, especially for guys, they like to see success and results before they are fully believing in you. And that's okay. I always say, like, I frankly, I love haters, like, so much. They push me to work harder than anything, because I'm like, oh, really? You think I can't do this? Fucking watch me. I will show you that I can. Like, oh, Rachel, your baby is gonna be swearing by the time it's one. I'm so sorry. Um, but like, you know, just it is that's fine. Don't believe me. Don't, okay. And then I just walk off in silence and do my thing and prove to them that 3.5 years later, I'm still doing this. I'm still rocking it. And I'm healthier and better and have a great life. And not everyone's going to be up for it. And that's okay. I love the haters. I mean, goodness, it took me so long to convince my dad that what I was doing wasn't a scam. It's my dad, and he's like my biggest supporter. And I said to him once slyly, I forget what I had made that month. Maybe it was when I hit my $1,000 month or something. And I said something to him about it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I just made like," I forget what the number was, and he was like, "Wait, really?" I was like, "Yep." Then I just walked out of the room. And I said something like that a few more times, and I was like, it was when I think it was when I had 100 people on the team. I was like, "Oh, we just hit 100 people on my team," and I walked out. And he's like, "Your team?" I was like, "Yep." You just slyly throw things in like that. They'll become believers. Or like, "Oh yeah, I'm number whatever I was in the company." I think at that time was like number 900 or something out of 45,000 people. He's like, little things like that really get people on board. But I just don't want anyone, the fear is really what holds people back in this. And that you've got nothing to be afraid of, because just all I say to myself is like, where would I be without this? And I want you guys to, I hope you guys feel that way. Or if you don't yet, you will at some point. Whether it's for, there are like 5 main things. Obviously, your health and fitness, the friendships, the income, the accountability. There's one more that I can't think of right now. But like any of those things that you feel have helped you, you can help other people with. And I am like, I can't stand excuses more than pretty much anything in the world. It's fine. 10 minutes. Okay. We all obviously have shit going on. As I said, I'm not going to lie. It crossed my mind to cancel both these calls tonight because I am fucking exhausted, and I'm choosing this over showering, which I think is a good idea. We're all tired. We all would rather sit on the couch and watch TV. There's not a person in the universe that wants to work. Well, maybe there are a few, but we'd all rather be sitting on the couch watching TV with our significant other or dog or anything than doing this right now. Am I right? Like, I'm sorry, but honestly, I'd rather be sleeping. I would love to be asleep right now, or eating dinner, frankly. But so just excuses, like no tolerance for them. I don't care, and not to be like super harsh, but I don't want to hear them. I don't care. Obviously, if it's something serious, talk to us about it. Like there are times, especially with me, Sam and Brooke, we've had some serious shit go on in the past 2 years, like stuff that you wouldn't want on your worst enemy to happen. Talk about it. We get through it. We put our business on the back burner when it's some serious shit. I know, some people on this call have had some things going on this, in the past week or two, but if it's just we're tired and we don't want to, you step above it, rise above it. You are so much better than that. And there's more, there's more on the other side of it, and breaking through those excuses. I'm full of excuses, I'm like, I didn't work out today. There's an excuse right there. I didn't get a lunch break at work today because my flipping boss was in. So I didn't get my workout in. That's an excuse. That to me is an excuse. I could still do it right now, so just think to yourself, like, is this a reason that my business is not being successful and that I'm not doing these things that I'm asked to do or told to do? Or is it an excuse? I'm nobody's boss. No one here is anybody's boss. It's kind of a weird dynamic where, like, you sign with us, we're your sponsors, but I'm not here to tell you, I will never make anybody do anything. If you don't do an assignment, I don't give a fuck. Like, I wish you would. It like thrills me to no end when I saw all those stories pop up in the chats today. That was like so fun to see, and I can't wait to go through them all. But if you don't, you don't. And I just want everyone to really commit, at least for a little bit, and like try it. And I just think of this as like college. Like, if this was like the first semester of college, the amount of people that would have quit in their first semester of college as they do Beachbody coaches is exponential. So just keep going and know that there will be hurdles. There will be days where you miss workouts, or you miss your, the things on your tracker, you miss your personal development, or you miss your goals, or you have a Beachbody return, or whatever it is, setbacks. But you have shit going on with your family. Like, that all sucks, but you've got this. And I want to ask, I'll leave a few minutes for questions at the end, but I just I know I rambled a little bit there, but I just want you to know that, with your story and sharing it, share the struggles. Don't use them as excuses, but use them as opportunities to learn. Was that enough rambling for you guys? All right. Does anybody have any questions or things that have gone on this week that that they want to talk about? Any Beachbody related questions, how to send messages, how to respond to a message? I'm not sure, Rachel, if you saw, I didn't see all the chats. Okay, she's got that. Okay, cool. So does anyone have any questions or comments or things they want to chat about in the next few minutes? Or about what I said tonight? And if you don't agree with me, please let's talk about it. Like, if you're like, I wasn't sure with you, I'm not I like conversations.
Every time I think about or hear about people talking about sharing their story on social media, it reminds me of Super Saturday, a few Super Saturdays ago, when you were the panel speaker and you were sitting next to Elizabeth Hartke, who's like top 20 in the company and like my idol. But anyway, she lives outside of Boston. She has 2 kids, and it's one of the questions I think that was posed by the audience to the panel was about, what do you do to like keep your kids safe and, not posting a ton of pictures of your kids. This person in the audience didn't want to put her family at risk because she has a spouse that was a police officer, some story like that. So Elizabeth's answer was, if you think I put my whole life on social media, you don't know me. Like, if you looked back to my social media for the last 3 years, you wouldn't see that my husband and I have ever had a fight. If you think, and actually my husband's Michelle's boss, so this might be a little awkward. If you think my husband and I have never had a fight, you'd be right. Like, not true. Like, obviously my husband and I have fights. Obviously I've lost my shit I actually posted about losing my shit on my kids. Like, it's about what you want to share. And like Katie was saying, like, I first mentioned my actual eating disorder and talked about the one big incident that I'm sure Katie remembers like 4 months ago. And I've been a coach for 3 years. And that's when I first felt comfortable. There are other stuff. I could talk about postpartum depression like 6 months into coaching, but my eating disorder took me a lot longer to talk about because I got other, stuff in my brain about it. So it's about like trying to find a balance of more than just like my sweaty selfie. And I get in those modes where like I don't have anything to say, so I just post a sweaty selfie and I'm like, oh, that at least people know I'm still doing something. But like, this is always a good reminder for me because I've been struggling with posting lately. Like, what is my story? So I actually just wrote up my why, which is not quite my story, but a little bit my story, and shared it with Brooke and Katie the other day. So I've been trying to post more about that. It gives, I think, writing it down, like Katie wrote it down. I haven't written it down like that, but writing it down kind of makes it more tangible. So if you're like, what is my story? How do I share it? Like, you have a little more tangibility, I don't know, something to it. Like, it's easier to do it that way. Cause then it gives you a little disconnection from it. Like Katie reading it, well, yeah, she was getting emotional. It was kind of on paper. She was just reading it on paper. So trying to tell that to someone else is easier than being like, tell me that time that your house got to 45 degrees and what did that feel like as a mom? Like, no, you don't have to go like, so, to one side, but kind of sharing. Everyone has a story. And if you don't have a story, you do. I didn't think I had a story at first. I thought I didn't have a story. Turns out I do. Everyone has a story.
That's true. So, and also that's where the personal development piece comes in. The more you read or listen to Audible, like I do, the more you find out about yourself. You're like, oh, I totally relate to that. That is me. Like, I read a Brene Brown book, which I can't think of the title off the top of my head right now. And I was like, did I write this? Like, damn, she's in my head. And I'm like, well, I've never really heard it from that perspective. That is how I am. So, make sure that you're reading and focusing on yourself, not just physically and on what you eat, but also mentally, because that's super important, and it helps us get over the hard time. So, if nobody has any other questions or comments, I will read the threads of your stories and what you guys shared today as soon as we get off this call, and I'll comment back and give some advice if I have any, but I'm sure they're great to start out. And then I'll be doing one of those each day this week, a little 20-minute exercise, whatever it is. And if you have any questions, post them in the team page. There are so many new people that I guarantee you're not the only one. And sometimes it's hard. Like Rachel asked me a question earlier today, and I was like, I don't even know the answer to that. No, I hadn't done it in ever. So like I don't know everything either, so ask questions and don't be afraid. And action is the only way to make money. And I want you guys to make money so that you want to do this. Because it's hard to do this without making money, to be honest. It's not as fun, at least. I think money makes everything more fun, right? But if you're looking on how to make money, the tips that I'm giving you guys this week will lead you to that for February. So, all right. Hope everyone has a great night and gets a good night's rest. And Sam, did you have something else?
Oh, no, sorry.
Oh, okay. No, you're fine. I just heard something. All right, cool, guys. And I will chat with you in the team page and see you right back here next week, okay? Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.